These factors can be classified into two. One is a living factor and non-living factor. The living factor are called as a biotic factor and the non-living factors are called as a abiotic factor, which makes the environment of an organism. However, the ecological factors are meaningfully grouped into four classes. They are climatic factor, edaphic factor, topographic factors, biotic factors. First one is a climatic factor. The climate is one of an important natural factor that controlling the plant's life. The climatic factors include light, temperature, water, wind and fire. First one is light. The light is a well-known factor needed for the basic physiological process of plant such as photosynthesis, transpiration and germination and flowering. So the light plays very important role in the plant's life for photosynthesis, transpiration, germination, that is seed germination and flowering. The portion of the sunlight which can be resolved by the human eye is called a visible light. So the light which can be seen through our naked eye is called as a visible light. The visible part of the light is made up of wavelength from about 400 nanometer, that is violet color, to 700 nanometer red color. The rate of photosynthesis is maximum at blue 400 to 500 nanometer and red 600 to 700 nanometer. The green 500 to 600 nanometer wavelength of spectrum is less strongly observed by plants. So the rate of photosynthesis is maximum at blue and red light. It is less in the green light. The next, effect of light on the plants. Various effects of light depending upon green plants. First is photosynthesis. So light regulates photosynthesis and closing and opening of stomata, that is transpiration. This also affects for light in plants, green plants. Then movement means here the plant part moves towards the direction of sunlight. So the stems moves towards the direction of sunlight. In some plants, the flower can turn its face towards the sunlight. And germination of seeds also affected by sunlight. Flowering is also caused by sunlight. Tuber formation, runner production and stem and leaf formation are some of the factors which are depend upon light in plants, green plants. Based upon the tolerance of intensity of light, the plants are divided into two types. They are heliophytes. The heliophytes are plants which loves light are called as a heliophytes. Examples are angiosperm. Cyophytes, the shade loving plants are called as cyophytes. Example bryophytes and pteridophytes. Temperature. The temperature is one of the important factor which affect almost all the metabolic activity of an plants or organisms. Every physiological process in an organism require an optimum temperature at which it shows the maximum metabolic rate. Three limits of temperature can be recognized for any organism. They are minimum temperature, optimum temperature and maximum temperature. Minimum temperature, physical activities are lowest in organism. Optimum temperature, physical activities are maximum. Maximum temperature, physical activities will stop. Based on the temperature prevailing in an area, Raucher classified the world's vegetation into the following four types. They are megatherms, mesotherms, microtherms and hextotherms. In thermal springs and deep sea hydrothermal vent where average temperature exceeds 100 degrees Celsius. Based on the range of thermal tolerance, organisms are divided into two types. They are eurythermal organism and stenothermal organism. Eurythermal organism which can tolerate a wide range of temperature fluctuations. For example, zooster, a marine angiosperm, and Artemisia tridentata are considered to be the eurythermal organisms. Stenothermal, the organisms which can tolerate only a small range of temperature variation. Example, mango and plum, the terrestrial angiosperms. Mango plant do not and cannot grow in temperate countries like Canada and Germany. Thermal stratification. It is usually found in aquatic habitat. The change in the temperature profile with increasing depth in a water body is called as a thermostratification. There are three kinds of thermostratification. They are epilimnon, metalimnon, and hypolimnon. In epilimnon, the upper layer of pond is warmer water. In metalimna, the middle layer with a zone of gradual decreases in temperature. Hypolimnon, the bottom layer of colder water. So the bottom layer of a pond is a cold water. Temperature based on zonation. Variation in latitude and altitude do affect the temperature and the vegetation on the earth's surface. The latitudinal and altitudinal zonation of vegetation or latitude is an angle which range from 0 degree at the equator to 90 degree at the poles. Altitude, how high a place is located above the sea level, is called as the altitude of a place. Latitudinal zonation of vegetation. Equator, tropical rainforest, grassland or desert, deciduous forest, coniferous forest, tree lines, tundra, and ice or snow region. Altitude zonation of vegetation. Tropical rainforest, grassland or desert, deciduous forest, coniferous forest, tundra, and snow. Effect of temperature. The following physiological processes are influenced by temperature. The temperature affects the enzymatic action of all the biochemical reaction in a plant body. All the biochemical reactions are affected by higher temperature or lower temperature, and optimum temperature is makes the enzyme activity of all the biochemical reaction in a fast manner, and it influences carbon dioxide and oxygen solubility into the biological systems, increases respiration and stimulates growth of seedling. So the temperature affects the increases respiration and stimulates growth of seedling. But also it influences carbon dioxide and oxygen solubility in biological system. Low temperature with a high humidity can spread diseases to plants. If the temperature is low but the humidity is high, the disease can be spread from one organism to the other organism. That is one plant to the other plant. The varying temperature with moisture determines the distribution of vegetation. The next, water. Water is one of the most important climatic factors. It affects the vital process of all living organism. That is important process of all living organism. It is believed that even life had originated only in water during the evolution of Earth. Water covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. In nature, water is available to plant in three ways. They are atmospheric moisture, precipitation, and soil water. The productivity and the distribution of plants depend upon the availability of water. Further, the quality of water is also important, especially for the aquatic organisms. The total amount of water salinity in different water bodies are 5% in inland water, that is fresh water, the amount of salt 5% in inland salt water, fresh water, 30 to 35% in sea water, and more than 100% in hypersaline water, that are lagoons. Based on the range of tolerance of salinity, that is salt organisms are divided into two types, euryhylin and stenohylin. Euryhylin, the organism which can live in water with wide range of salinity, that is high salt water. This organism can able to live. Example, marine algae and marine angiosperms. Stenohylin